what's that bleeding story? I'll tell you what the story is. North London is red, baby. It's red. I'm telling you, I'm absolutely buzzing. I can't believe it. You know, the team played outstanding. I thought every one of them done really well, done us proud tonight. And the pressure that they had going into the game of, was it 8-9 years since we've beaten them in their backyard, you know, and just to go out and fucking piss off. Do you know what I mean? This is what it's about. Arteta, fair fucking play to him. He has them bouncing. We're not doing bouncing off the field. We'll talk about that later on, okay? Because I'm just buzzing now at the minute. And two of my good friends to join me and talk about the game, dissect the game, and tell us what's going on. Warren, how are you keeping, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. The result today, performance today, was a massive shot in the arm because I was getting really stressed by all that off-the-field nonsense that's going on. So, yeah, I'm fucking buzzing, man. I'm absolutely buzzing. I thought it was an absolutely superb performance. And it's cheered me right up, to be quite honest.
Exactly. And Mane, how are you keeping, buddy? Are you well? Are you happy? Bouncing?
Ship-shapen, Bristol fashion. What can you expect? Listen, I actually predicted a 2-1 win because I actually thought that Tottenham would, at least to their credit, be up for this enough to at least give us a fight. But, you know, with the defence that they have and the fact that many of their star players didn't stand up to be counted, it was they were lucky to get 0, and we were unlucky to only end up with 2. I know that Aaron Ramsdale did have to make a couple of decent saves almost near the end, but you could tell that when they finally switched on, it almost started to become too little, too late, and they just didn't have the confidence or the self-belief to be able to recover from that. And I think I will speak for many of us, not just Tottenham fans, but Arsenal fans and Premier League fans, when I say that Hugo Lloris's days as a top-level goalkeeper are done and dusted. What a poor mistake for that goal. And you know what? It was funny. This guy had the nerve to fire a cheap parting shot at our former goalkeeper, Emi Martinez, who is, of course, the world champion with Argentina, saying that all these antics, making an idiot of himself during penalties or what have you, during a game, trying to wind people up, I don't do that. I like to play with honesty and integrity. Well, mate, I'm sorry, but I don't care how honest and, I don't care how much integrity you have. You make an error like that, you don't deserve to win anything. And you couldn't even save a single penalty in the shootout. Always better to stay silent and let people think you're a fool than to speak or tweet and remove all doubt. What do you say, Del?
Yeah, 100%. I was in a WhatsApp group and during it, the guys were actually saying it to me as well. What's the story with Hugo Lloris? He's just done. He's finished. He's cooked. He's burnt on both sides. He is. And I'll tell you, I welcome along Kyle Walsh. I'm sure Wexford is fucking red this evening.
Get in the fucking Gunners.
I'm fucking brilliant. Well, before we get into it, I just want to just shout out to the few of the comments here and everyone in the chat because look, we're all Gunners, we're all bouncing, we're all happy. Big up Lenny, big up Del Boy, my brother, exactly. My fucking look, that's it, Craig.
Just for the occasion, I've got a red drink tonight.
Yeah, red lemonade, is it? I thought you could only get that in Ireland.
No, mate, it's a sort of an energy drink which is very low in sugar. I always like to buy this. Something which helps me get my food down and gives me energy for whatever exercise I need to do. And it's red, so no complaints.
Well, good. We'll leave a lot of energy this evening.
You bet.
Craig, Ramsdale, excellent. Exactly, 100%. Really going to enjoy this week. Oh, so am I, mate. So am I. Tom, big up, Tom. What's the crack? Big up, Del Boy. Big up yourself, Tom. Big up, Del Boy, Warren, Manny. Good man, Rhino. What's the story? Here's me mate, Paul. What's that crack? How are you keeping, Paul? I hope Wales is red as well. Everywhere's fucking red this evening, I'm telling you. Del Boy, Manny, big up. Warren. The Aussie Gunners in the gaff. Australia's gone red as well. We're fucking all going red. Well, that was
he's
nice.
up early, isn't he? 5
He is indeed.
Close to 6 o'clock in the morning.
Good man. Good game, good result. Well, happy with that. Exactly, mate. 100%. And he's predicting scores and all. He's on the ball, he is. Absolute disgrace. We aren't buying no one. We need numbers if we are going to win anything. Exactly. And we will talk about that shortly. And please do get all your comments and shite like that. Slag the bollocks out of us. Do whatever you want. Because you know what? As Hall says here, we're bouncing. Exactly. Only real grip about today was in Nketiah. He was absolutely pony. I want to talk about that actually. 100%. She's trying to keep up with the comments. She's bleeding flat out. The level of control and quality is phenomenal from these Arsenal sides. The only thing missing from is depth. Exactly. You know, and look, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about, right, Kyle, welcome along. Sorry, mate. What do you make of the game?
Hey, boy. We're playing with passion. We're playing with togetherness. We're doing extremely well, little boy. But let's not get carried away just yet, because Ramsdale, from all our great player, was man the match. He pulled off some terrific saves. Spurs could have easily scored a few goals there today, that boy. That's the concern. We have no depth. He couldn't make. There was a time there I thought he needed substitutions. He couldn't bring anyone on because he don't have it on the subs bench. The squad is way for team, and if we are to be champions, we have to add some serious fucking additions to this fucking club. This fucking window. Not fucking summer. Now is the time, that boy. Take out the checkbooks. We have it in our fucking hands. I want to see additions. I want to see us win this fucking league this season. Ain't a fucking story.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Fucking tell you. And the big down under is gone red. Is it all red down here?
It couldn't. Honestly, I am ready. I love this. And I predicted us to win this game. The pressure was all on them. Like, don't get me wrong, there was pressure on our boys, but this game means a lot to us. To them, they're in bad form. They're a shit show shambles. Conte's starting to fall apart. The team is starting to look barely one-dimensional. They need to see if they can try and knock us off our perch and what happens. Hugo Weaving at it again. I've been screaming about him as well, Manny. He's an absolute joke. But you know what? I want him to stay. I love him. I want Conte to stay. I want Bissouma to stay. And I mean, Kyle, you were talking about, you know, it's all about numbers, and it's 1 + 1 = 2. You know what I mean? 2-0. We couldn't have asked for much more. Could have been 3. To be perfectly honest, I was very happy with the result. I was very happy with a lot of the players on the pitch. Eddie Nketiah, unlucky not to get a goal. It would have been nice to see him get that goal when he was 1-on-1 with Hugo. But what do? Should have been 3, guys. Should have been 3. The one thing that was concerning was, like, they did a great job on Martinelli. I didn't see Martinelli in this game. He had such a hard time.
Yeah.
He was either 2 players on him, 3 players on him. I mean, it opened up for Saka, but bloody hell, they did a job on Martinelli. I've got to give him that. And for me, the other thing is their best player on the pitch was Kulusevski. He did bugger all, but in my mind, I think Kulu was probably the best player for Spurs. I mean, he did bugger all, but, you know.
Yeah, no, I have to say, I was even saying it to my young fella Zach when I was watching it. I said, Martinelli's quiet today. Like, you know, they did sort of wrap him up well. And you know, for me, I think United will be looking at that, at how to keep him quiet, you know, in a game, because he's the threat big time, you know. Warren, I want to come to you with the Eddie Nketiah thing. Like, I thought he played well today, but he's just not scoring, you know. What did you make of him today, first of all?
He was okay, but his job is to score goals, and he didn't. And he was clean through on goal at one point, and he just messed it up, mate. I'm sorry. He tries hard, but he's not good enough. And I've gone on about this before, and I'm going to go on about it again. He went to Leeds when they were in the Championship and failed. So I just do not understand why anyone thinks that he's going to be good enough for Arsenal when we're wanting to challenge for a league title. We need to get a prolific goal scorer through the middle if we're going to, like, push on.
Can I add to that?
Particularly against top-level sides. I'm not saying that Spurs are, because they were dreadful today. We need to bury it. And he had his chance today, and he didn't take it. I'm afraid. I mean, I just don't think he's good enough. Sadly, I really don't. I mean, I'd love to see him succeed. I really would, but I just don't think it's going to happen, mate. To be honest, you know, like I say, he went to Leeds, it didn't work out, and when he has scored this season, it's usually against League One sides when we've been playing in the League Cup, or when we're playing against weaker opposition, except for a couple of times when he's done the business. But most of the time, he's not. For me, he's not at the required level. If you want to go and win a title, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, Manny, do you have anything? Or sorry, Theo, go back to you there. You wanted to just jump in. I'll come back to Manny then.
See, I know you're saying Nketiah is not good enough. He's second fiddle, right? And I know what you're saying, Warren. We need a prolific striker. We get a prolific striker. Does that mean Jesus sits on the bench? Because Jesus hasn't been prolific. Jesus has missed opportunities. Jesus has been in a goal drought before his injury. So why can't we have the same energy with Jesus? Because Jesus is supposed to be in here to score goals. He hasn't scored. He hit a drought. So we look at Eddie Nketiah and we say, oh, he's not scoring goals. His job is to score goals. Okay, same energy. Jesus, your job is to score goals. I have defended Jesus from not scoring goals and creating opportunities and putting on pressure. So why can't I say the same thing about Eddie?
Yeah, you know, you're right. I mean,
you know what I mean?
Honest,
maybe. Sorry to cut you off. Maybe it's time for us to say Jesus is probably a really good option. But when you say prolific, maybe it's time to get someone of a different dynamic from Jesus. Like I've been saying, Ivan Toney for donkeys, right? Maybe an Ivan Toney would be a good shout. You know, and then these two guys can I don't care if they go into a ring and fight out for that number 9 role. I don't care who gets it as long as someone's scoring goals.
See, because I think there is an argument to be made for playing 2 up front. You know, changing the system a bit, because if we're going to persist with Eddie, clearly I don't think this system we're playing, this 4-2-3-1 works for him. I think we need to find. You see, the thing is, back in the day, in the 70s, Liverpool would play. They would look at the players they had and then play a system that maximised the strengths of all their players, and that's what they did. And I think that's what we need to do. If it means
those days, it was all 4-4-2
formation and change the personnel a little bit, then I think we should do it. But I don't think Eddie up front on his own is going to work.
It's 4-4. Yo, mate.
I hear what you're saying there, buddy, and I agree with you. And here's what I'm saying. This is where I come from. This is why we need to add additions to this fucking squad.
Yeah.
You just said there about Ivan Toney, for example. Yeah. We need a fucking top class striker, lads, a natural goal scorer up top that's going to score those chances that Eddie Nketiah gets and J.S. Lewis gets. And they all fucking miss him. We need a top goal scorer. The 2 boys are workhorses. Get Eddie Nketiah out of the fucking club. He ain't good enough. Ain't the fucking conversation. Get in a top quality striker with J.S. Lewis. Get rid of Eddie Nketiah, and I'm happy. Lads, if we're relying on Eddie Nketiah,
we need Jesus back.
We need Jesus back, and we need to buy a natural goal scorer, lads. Because Eddie Nketiah he's had his chances, and he's not good enough. That's his. And I'd love to see the chap succeed, but he ain't doing this. We have to be fucking real here, lads.
Yeah, I want to come back to that, right? I just want to introduce Gemma into the chat. Gemma, welcome along. Thanks for coming along. What are you saying?
Yeah, the match was good. I couldn't really watch it, so I had to watch it on my phone, on Sky Sports Scores. So yeah.
Yeah. Are you buzzing?
But it was good. Huh?
Are you buzzing? What do you make of the whole Eddie Nketiah thing? Like,
he's shit. My partner Khan says he's a wanker, so
wow.
That's fair enough. You can't argue with that, you know. But like, look, I was. He definitely should have scored at least one or two of them goals. The second half
one.
chance as well. I can't
Yeah.
believe, like, you know,
At least one.
yeah, like, yeah, especially that one. I think was the second half one. Jesus Christ, he just
That
hit
ball
it
from
straight on.
Xhaka.
My old
That ball
manager
from
is a
Xhaka.
Tottenham fan. And he thought it was going to be 5-1.
Jesus Christ, to what, to them?
Yeah. I said, don't worry. I said it'll be 3-1, 4-1. He owes me a fiver now.
Happy days. You know, I usually put a bet onto the game today, and I always, like, you know, Harry Kane, I says score at any time. It says the prick will bleed and score. So I put a jinx on him when I fucking put the bet on. So happy days for that. But Manny, I want to go to you with the whole striker thing. What do we need, or what should be done? You know, where are we at?
You know, here's the thing. I mean, obviously, this is what worries me. When we signed Jesus, obviously, it was with some sort of an idea to get a replacement for Alex Lacazette, or, of course, as we all know, Alex Lacazette, who is now, ironically, tearing it up back in Ligue 1 with Lyon. And we knew that when we signed Jesus, he'd offer us a great deal of work rate. And if he could possibly score a few more goals and be a little bit more prolific, given that he didn't really get too many opportunities at Manchester City, then that would have been a decent investment. And here's the thing, unlike Nketiah, he has credit in the bank in the form of 4 Premiership titles with Manchester City. He was a part of that winning team, so obviously both he and Alexander Zinchenko could offer a little bit of that winning mentality and sort of that steel into the team. We knew what we were getting with him, but we were hopeful that he could score a bit more. It started promisingly enough, but it hasn't really worked out too well. Now, here's the thing. Obviously, with Nketiah coming in his first few games since the resumption of play after the World Cup, he's started and scored quite a few. But the big issue that we all have, and history, of course, will be a testament to this, is that he will score in a few games, but when we need him to score and make a name for himself, he more often than not flatters to deceive. Last year against Tottenham and Newcastle was a case in point, and a few other games in between. And then, of course, he scores in the last game against Everton and does that ridiculous celebration, does enough to earn that contract and the number 14 shirt, go figure. But this really should be the time when, the team has to start leveling up a little bit. And an example here is that when Rafael Benitez won the European Cup with Liverpool, one of the very first things he did was start to break up that team. And of course, the likes of Vladimir Smitsa and a few others were about to leave the club anyway. But he showed his ruthlessness as well by making the very harsh decision, in my opinion, to drop Jerzy Dudek and replace him with Jose Reina, who he believed was the best goalkeeper in Spain and was simply drooling over him. But like most Spanish keepers, he was awful on crosses and high balls, whatever. But what I'm saying is that, let's say, for example, now that we're 8 points clear, we actually do go on and win the league. I'm not about to be one of those people who will say that everything is rosy in the garden, because, look, we say that nothing succeeds like success, but success can also succeed in papering over some cracks. And we've got to make sure that we fill in those cracks before we can really think of doing whatever we can to get back amongst the elite. And that means, of course, making a proper challenge for the Champions League, not getting spanked by Bayern Munich home and away ever again. And that means we are going to have to improve the squad. And so I really like what Kyle was saying there. And Steve makes a fine point that we shouldn't really be so quick to give Jesus a free pass and give Nketiah more of the brickbats. Except, of course, Nketiah has been at Arsenal for a longer time, so he has had more opportunities, whereas for Jesus, it's his first season. I would definitely like to see a situation where Nketiah is sent out on loan to really sharpen up his skills and see how he does as well. Of course, last time he was sent on loan didn't work too well, but maybe this could be another chance for him to try and succeed elsewhere. Because again, I completely agree that he might just not be that striker we need. He will have more games to prove himself. If he doesn't prove himself, that he might have to leave. And as for what that will mean for Florian Balogun, well, he might have to be brought back to the squad to, play in a few more cup games and prove himself. Some more loan deals, and he may be given an opportunity, as will Reece Nelson. It's about leveling up. And so I think in a nutshell, we will need to really start looking for a more prolific striker who will, improve our Arsenal, pun intended. And I think Tony could very well prove to be that sort of a person. We could have a goal-scoring winger like Leandro Trossard coming into the picture to lend some competition, especially given that Mudrak has now gone to Chelsea along with João Felix to enjoy himself. But yeah, it is about leveling up. It is about getting another striker, a proven striker who will add to the squad, provide competition for places. And if that means Nketiah and Jesus will have to struggle and really work hard to try and earn back their spot in the team, so be it. We see that Tierney's struggling for game time with the increased competition. It's going to happen to everyone.
That's the best thing for players, though. That's the best thing you can have is competition in positions. See, in my mind, I want someone to really compete for Jesus' 9. Like, I know Nketiah is not good enough, of course, but I don't want another second fiddle striker. I want a striker that's on par and might not be the same as Jesus. Like, Jesus' link-up play is great. I want a striker who likes to go forward. It gives us a different dynamic. You know, when we got Tierney at left back, more defensive-minded, Zinchenko likes to play forward. Now you've got a different dynamic at left. I want a different dynamic as a number 9. Jesus isn't a bad player, but he's good in some moments. So you have an Ivan Toney who's slightly different, a bit muscly, a bit more further going, good going forward, good to put a ball in. You've got 2 players fighting for that position. And you know what? To be honest, that makes us a very scary team. When you can take off a Jesus, put on an Ivan Toney, and now the attacking threat just changed. It's no longer link-up play. Now I have to worry about the ball falling in front of this player because he'll finish. And I think that would give us like a bit of an edge over teams. But is it going to happen? Probably not. I don't see it happening. I don't think these guys they're going to spend. They're not going to spend.
I get that. And here's the thing. If Rashford hadn't returned to form so spectacularly this season, I would have gone for him because I know there's a quality player in that boy.
Even Tammy Abraham. Even Tammy Abraham isn't a bad shout. Even Tammy Abraham, I'll take Tammy Abraham now. He's not a bad shout. He's not a bad player. He's better than Nketiah. But you know what? This whole Mudryk thing, I wasn't convinced from the get-go because it didn't make any sense to me about this left winger. But it just feels like we dragged our feet, wasted 2 weeks. And if we don't have any other targets, it's another Vlahovic transfer window all over again. Does it feel like deja vu?
Yeah, I know.
I take any one of us on this panel ahead of fucking Nketiah. Simple as.
All right. I mean, look, I might not get you a goal, but I'll get you excited.
There should be no discussions about this Nketiah. He has proved to me today what he is. Absolute fucking dirt. That's what he is. Dirt. So, no more excuses like I keep saying. These lads have to come up to checkbooks. We have to buy 2 or 3 quality proven fucking players. Simple. If not, we will fail.
I don't want to be seeing these, there's a 17-year-old, the next fucking Neymar and all this bullshit.
We don't have time for that, bro.
There's no messing. Just fuck the messing. Get Premiership proven players. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
That's all. I don't want to be fucking hearing, this fella and that. Like, just keep it fucking simple. Jesus Christ. Kyle, I'll bring you in here. I was watching your video there earlier on today, and please do check it out because you talked fucking facts, mate. Do you want to just sort of give everyone what you were saying and players-wise of?
There, boy, this is very fucking simple. Trossard is a top quality player. He's at Brighton. He's out of the squad. He's at the falling out with the manager. He's in his last 6 months of contract. Go to Brighton. We've dealt with Brighton before with the whole Ben White situation. Go to Brighton and say, lads, listen, he's going to walk there in 6 months. There you go, 15 million. Thanks very much. Go get Tillmans. Go to Crystal Palace. Get in Saha. Straight away, you're after improving the squad. You're after improving the team. Now we can look at the subs bench when we're struggling, when we're under pressure. At least now we have some kind of quality to bring on the feed. We are challenging for the league title for the first time in almost 2 fucking decades. Now we either stay like a little Farmers League club or we act like Arsenal Football Club and get the fucking checkbooks out.
But it's not a big checkbook that you need.
And if they fail, get the fuck out of the club come the end of the season because you're not doing your jobs right.
Yeah.
It's not a big checkbook.
Fucking that, lads. No excuses. This is the biggest fucking time we've had in 2 decades. This is Arsenal Football Club. Now let's get our heads over our arses and let's do the fucking job right. If not, fuck off.
Exactly.
Simple.
Exactly. You do laugh about it, but like it's just 100%, Kyle. Like it's Arteta is now doing on the pitch. He's doing his job. Okay, it's Edu, Vinay. Do your fucking job now. Okay, we're in the top of the league. We're fucking 8 points clear of Man City. We're going well. Arteta's doing his job. You guys do your fucking job. Just going back to the game today, Steo. Who was your man of the match?
For us,
yeah.
To be honest, it's hard to pick, but I'd probably say Odegaard in this game. Saka or Odegaard, one of the two. But for me, I'd say Odegaard. His movement on the ball through the middle of the park was key to a lot of attacks. But even Zinchenko was great in this game. It's hard to pick Saka, Odegaard, or Zinchenko. But for me, I'm gonna say Odegaard. Saka was great though. You got to admit, he was carving up their left-hand side. He was having fun on that side. They didn't know what to do to stop him. But I think Odegaard in this game can hold his head up high. I think he did. He did manage to get the man of the match for me.
Imagine you're still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just Prince Floyd, you're winding me up here now, mate. Eddie deserves to be in a team. 8 years since we beat Spurs.
Fuad, look, did you watch this game? Come on. He wasn't the worst player on the fucking pitch, but he was nowhere near the best. He needs to at least finish one of those chances. Just one of them. Just one. So we can't praise him. We can defend him that he's done all right previously, but in this game, let's be honest, in this game, he wasn't phenomenal. I mean, did some nice shit from time to time, but he wasn't doing his job really. So
exactly, as Steve-O would say, let's call a spade, not a shovel.
Yeah, like this game. We're talking this game. The other one's all right. This one, nah. Come on.
Yeah.
Gemma, just what Prince Floyd is saying here. We are winning with him in the team. You guys said we'll lose the Spurs.
I didn't say that. I said we're going to win 2-0. Relax yourself. Hey, I'm going to go check my fucking video. Watch yourself, Fuad.
I predicted a win too. Come on, Fuad. Seriously.
Did you hear what happened to Ramsdale?
I seen was it Richarlison sort of hit him or something in the head or pushed his head or something like that? I seen that. But did he say something to him or what?
No, he got kicked in the back by one of the spectators.
Oh yeah, I seen that. Yeah, because when he was walking over behind the goal, some clown tried to jump in and give him a boo.
Ramsdale had the ball and he went to kick it there, that boy, for the end of the game, and he laughed up in Richardson's face. Then Richardson thought he was Rocky fucking Balboa. What Ramsdale should have done was stand him around the fucking crossbar.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. I like Chris Ford there. He said, I always looks at him there. He always makes good points as well. I like him. He's a good fan. But fans like Prince Ford has the club to where we fucking are talking fucking shit about the likes of fucking Eddie and Ketia. How can you defend him, Prince Ford? He's fucking shit, man. Useless. Now, you're either going to want the club to win the league title or you're going to stay where you are talking the same fucking shit about the same fucking shit players that we've had there for years. That's not fucking good enough. Simple.
This is it. It's like, it's so frustrating. Like, it's like we don't want us to win or something like that. We're our own worst enemy, I just want to even just go back to the game, right? Like, I thought fucking Party was fucking outstanding as well today. I thought he'd done a really good job. Even at the end when Xhaka, I thought he'd done okay. Xhaka was trying to sort of get involved in the scuffle and all. Everyone was walking away and he started going back into it. Yeah, I understand probably why he did do that, but no, do you know what I mean? I thought that was just a time to turn around and go up to the Arsenal fans and start supporting them.
Fair play to Arteta, that boy. He came in there and he grabbed a few up there and pushed them up to the fans. Fair play to him. Yeah,
exactly. And look, I was delighted to see that at the end with all the players going up to the fans and celebrating with them because, they're the hardcore fans, the away days and stuff like that. Just because it's a Spurs next door, basically, they go to the likes of Newcastle and, God knows else, wherever they go, travelling and spend a lot of money. So it was nice of the Arsenal team to actually do that and go up to them and give it loads,
I'll tell you what I liked was at the end Mikel Arteta, I'm going to give him some praise now.
No, you
He
won't.
ran on the pitch and was pulling players away from all the fracas. I was really impressed with that because it could have got really out of hand and really nasty and really kicked off really badly. And he managed to intervene and stop that from happening. So he deserves a lot of praise for that because there could have been a full-on riot.
Yeah.
It could have turned really ugly.
But you see, Warren, there's one thing can I add to that? Look at Arteta, and I'm not an Arteta in guy, right? So let's just be fucking straight on that. But you got Conte in one world, a world-class manager, and you got Arteta, who's a novice, right? Arteta's got the brains to pull his players out of the mix, and Conte's doing what?
I didn't see him, mate. So
I didn't see him either. I'm seeing Arteta pull players out and say, "What do you get the hell out of here, Jacka?" Having a chat to him, this and that. What's the go there? Like, what's Conte's message to his boys? I'd love to know.
Yeah,
I
would.
It was an absolute shit show.
I saw Arteta manhandling Granit Xhaka because it looked like he wanted to go and have it with the Spurs fans, and he was dragging him off the pitch. So big up to him because, like I said, it could have turned into a full-blown riot. I've been at that ground, like when the atmosphere has been really fucking toxic, and I mean really toxic. Arsenal fans singing about the Second World War and about what happened in the gas chambers and stuff like that. Mate, it was horrible. Absolutely disgusting and horrible. And all it needed would have been something like that to happen and fans getting involved with players, and it would have been a full-blown riot. Absolute full-blown riot. And it could have, people could have been killed and all sorts. So I'm really impressed with Mikel for doing that. Fair play to him.
Come here, Warren. I just need to ask this question.
Did you break in?
Kenny's.
Yeah, I am.
You've broken in.
I'm house sitting.
I'm going to call Kenny. Ken, give me 1 sec. We can't have that. Actually, Warren, just break out.
I think the only way to answer that question is to get Kenny Ken on one of these streams. We need him here. Seriously. The only problem is I think he's gone all the way to Tottenham to watch the game. He might be having a tough journey back, so we will let him be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just on the subs, with the starting 11, Warren, I just want to ask you, because I nearly ask you this all the time. Was it the correct starting 11? And I think I know who you're going to mention.
Well, the thing is, I listened to what Ozzy said just now. So can I call you Steve? Steve.
Of course you can, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Call me sweetheart. You can call me Steve. You can call me darling. You can call me honey. It's all good, mate.
All right. But I heard what Steve-O said, right? And I agree with him. I don't think the way we're playing it suits Kieran. But for the sake of his career, he has to go and have a word. The manager, get it sorted out. Either you play me or you sell me. He's got to be selfish about it. He has to. All right.
I think Keane should have started first.
Yeah.
He needs to move, mate. He needs to move because he's not going to get the game time that he needs to progress his career. So, but other than that, you can't argue it because we keep winning.
Gemma, do you was the team right for you starting? Or are you in the same boat as Warren? Do you think that Kieran Tierney should be starting?
Yeah, he should be starting. Hold on, I think they're on my coat. Sorry. Yeah, no, I think Kieran Tierney should be starting.
Yeah. Manny, what do you make of it?
Well, I had hoped that Kieran would get the start today because one of the things which occurred to me was that with Doherty and Kulusevski having a role to play, maybe Zinchenko wouldn't have been the best option defensively. Yeah. I will say, though, that in the first half, we never really seemed to give them much of a sniff on that right side because, I mean, maybe not so much because of Zinchenko, but really because they looked a little bit toothless. It was really only in the second half that Kulusevski started to come alive and really start to get all Bukayo Saka-like, cutting in and trying to unleash a couple of shots with that left foot of his. I mean, if those shots had more accuracy, Ramsdale would have been in trouble. But I would definitely have liked to have seen Kieran Tierney sort of given that start to sort of tidy things up. But it seems to me as though, as we can all agree, there's a method to Arteta playing Zinchenko from the beginning, and that is to sort of aid that transition into the attack. And it's sort of proved quite well because in this sort of a game, if you score early, you get that initiative. Last year when we played, I think they got the early goal and they pretty much had us on the back foot for most of the game. And, you know, the Holding sending off simply didn't help matters either. Thank goodness he didn't play today. And it was exceptionally important that we won today to sort of exercise those ghosts, if you will, and sort of give us that a little bit more self-belief that we could go on and accomplish more things. We still haven't quite reached the 19-game threshold, which sort of represents half the season yet. But I think the way we started, we certainly looked as though we wanted to have the upper hand. Maybe Arteta thinks that with Tierney being more defensive, although he can overlap wonderfully with that wonderful, you know, pet turn of pace he has and that sweet left foot of his, he just doesn't seem to be that type of person who can necessarily aid the attack that much. He's more of that classic old school left back who defends brilliantly and then comes down to overlap whenever the situation desires. Very much like Steve Staunton for Ireland, I have to mention that. And but you know, I think Warren said it perfectly. Tierney doesn't seem to have much of a role in this team, although he will get to play in the Cups and the Europa League this season, I believe. He might possibly need to consider moving on. If there is a situation where Arteta can promise him that there will be more direct competition and he will definitely get some starts in certain games and definitely have an opportunity to improve his play, then maybe there could be a case for him deciding to stay. It could very well be that Zinchenko might end up losing a bit of form and not really having the influence that he has. But the way things are going, we could very well end up seeing the last of Kieran Tierney. I've absolutely loved watching him play, but you know, if as with Emi Martinez, so there comes a time when players have to make a decision and decide that, you know, as much as I love the club, I have a career to think of. And I don't want to sit here and gather dust on the bench when I know that I can make the most of my talents elsewhere and fulfill my ambitions. And we've seen how with Emi Martinez that's worked beautifully. I think Tierney might need to consider doing that. And to all those Arsenal fans who have the nerve to slag off Emi Martinez, calling him a tosser and a weakling for not having the stomach to fight for his place with Bernd Leno, I say, in the words of your favorite manager, shut your mouths and eat it. And if you say the same about Kieran Tierney as well, more shame on you.
Yeah. I agree with Prince Floyd here. I love Zinchenko as well. I loved his passion, even when he was subbed off. Did you see him on the bench?
Yeah.
And even when the tussle at the end, and he was giving it all that. Like, you know, I love that about a player. They're the exact type of players you want in the club. Passion. They want to win. They have the drive. He is a champion. He knows how to win the league. And that's exactly what we needed. Him and Jesus. I know Jesus is injured now, but in the background, having them, like, you know, the experience that they have, they know what it's like to win. Still, what has changed this season with Arsenal?
For me, I think the major components are going to be, of course, the fluidity you're getting from the left-hand side with Zinchenko. The change in role for Xhaka to be the number 8 to go forward. That's a big deal. Of course, Saliba coming in and solidifying that defense. That's going to be key to it as well. And I think another key to it is having a Kieran Tierney and a Zinchenko playing at left back. You remember previous seasons when we'd look at Kieran Tierney and say, what a wonderful player, but when he gets injured, we're in trouble, right? And that used to worry me. Now having Zinchenko there, you've got Kieran Tierney on the bench. And I know it's about his career, but flip side of the coin, this is Arsenal Football Club, top of the league right now, playing the best football in the league, bar none. I think we are the most. If you're a neutral fan, you want to watch a game, watch an Arsenal game. True or not? It's going to be goals. It's going to be good defensively. It's going to be exciting. I think Kieran Tierney and Zinchenko fighting for that left back role is wonderful, and I don't think it's the end of his career. I think if Tini hangs around, this could be a good thing for him. If he goes elsewhere, he could struggle with injury. See, we all know Kieran Tierney's the kind of player that if he plays for a month or two, he gets an injury, he's out for a month or two. This could actually work to Kieran Tierney's strengths, fighting for his position, getting some game time here and there, and you never know. It could be a Zinchenko drop-off for a Tierney start. The other thing I think has been key to our success in this season is the fluidity of the transition from defense to attack. And then it's the second phase. If you look at the way we play now, usually when we go in for an attack, the first attack is not usually very successful. It's the recovery and then the second phase of attack that gets us a goal. If you look at the way Partey recovers that ball, every time, as soon as a team breaks, they try and break through the midfield, Partey recovers, puts it down the wing, and then we got a second base. So Partey's role, that DM role, that anchor role, I think he's just getting better and better and better, and he's staying fit. It's just, I think Arsenal Football Club, watching them now, it's exciting. And it's been a long time. And I don't want to speak for everyone else, but I haven't seen a team that's this sort of solid and unified since 2000.
Yeah.
I'm not going to compare them to the Invincibles. No. No way. But it's about 2099 where you could look at a game and say, you know what? We got this. Every game, we got this. Every game.
Yeah, like, funny you say that. Just please do hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed, please do hit the old subscribe. And also to Warren's, the Aussie Gunner, and Kyle Walsh Gunner as well. Please do help us out. Like, we're all Gunners in the house. But as Morris just says there, like, and he's right. Next Sunday's huge. It's such a big game. If we lose that, we're inviting Man United into the title race. Let's say, we don't want to go down that road. Gemma, are you confident, or what way are you feeling about the Man United at home?
That's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Carney in the background.
Yeah.
Evening, Carney.
Carney, yeah, big up, mate.
He's right.
He's
Yeah,
gone
no,
to
Spot
shop.
on. Oh, God, he's so right.
Yeah. Are you nervous at all, Gemma? Because I fucking am.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I was actually saying, like, to my mate the other day, like, do you think if we didn't have Jesus or Zinchenko, would we have got this far and actually got, like, to the point of 8 points in ahead of City? Or would they have yet again won the league?
Yeah. It's like, it's funny enough you say that, because I wouldn't even say we'd be in the top four if we didn't have them two. What do you make, Kyle?
Yeah, because I was saying that to my mate and she was like, I don't know, I think they'd be like probably 6th or 7th. And she's a West Ham fan, so.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So, yeah.
What do you make, Kyle? If we didn't have them?
I think there's a belief around the club. I think it comes from Arteta. I think players are playing for one another. You can see that. I just keep going back that the squad is still way for 10. But there's a different feeling to the club this season. And it's great to see. Get those additions that I'm talking about, and they could push forward, and they could actually win the league title for the first time in 18, 19 years. Now, what I think is this, Del Boy. A championship team wins today against Spurs, which is a brilliant result. Now, I get a bit mad here, because let me tell you, Del Boy. I'd rather see Rangers Football Club win the Champions fucking League than those fucking scum in Old Trafford win any game. I fucking hate them. So next fucking Sunday, Del Boy, yes, everyone says about the North London derby, but my main game of the season is against those fucking scumbags.
Yeah.
Next Sunday, for me personally, is fucking massive, Del Boy.
Yeah.
And has been all my fucking life. We may go out next Sunday and beat those fucking scum and put them behind us. And my brother is downstairs there. He's a Man United fan. And there'll be fucking war now between me and him all week. But I'm telling you that, boy, we better beat those fucking scumbags next week.
Yeah, and here, I must say, I'm the fucking same. For the Irish sort of thing, the Man United probably game would be a bit more for me, and you've just said it there as well, because there's a lot of Man United fans in Ireland and stuff like that. But Keith, if you're watching, mate, right, and I'm looking into the camera here, right, if we fucking beat you on Sunday, I'm doing a live stream outside your fucking gaff. So that's me, mate.
That should be fun.
There, boy. I put up York on Facebook here today. I say, well done to the Gunners, brilliant performance. And who do you think was texting me underneath my Facebook page? The fucking scum here in this fucking town of mine. I just wrote back to him, listen up, you fucking pricks. Wait the next fucking week and we see who's right and what ain't. I tell you that, boy. I'm very passionate. Next week I'm going to be. You're not. If you think I'm bad now, wait till you see next week. I fucking hate them.
Here, I think the worst of recent times was when Carrick was in manager of them, and he fucking bet us. I had to hibernate. I don't even think I've done streams or anything for about a week after. It kills me. It fucking kills me because the bastards, they fucking mill this fucking phone out. But Del boy, where's your streams out? Fuck off, you pricks. And do you know what? I went to the pub then last night, and then all the fuckers there with their Man United jerseys. I haven't seen that in a fucking long time. Jesus Christ, they do me bleeding balls in.
I know, I went to an Arsenal match v Chelsea today, and with my cousin, and I was shocked. There was kids there with Man United kits on.
Fuck's sake.
They were coming out of the fucking woodwork.
And I was like, I understand it's the same colour, but it's a different badge.
Yeah. I know, yeah. Fuck's sake.
And then you had Chelsea in with the home lot.
Yeah. It's a fucking joke, you know. Please do hit the bleeding like button. Anyway, Warren, what are you nervous for next week, or can this team do a job?
Mate, if we lose next week, I'm going to disconnect my Instagram account because I cannot handle that bloody little shit football capsule sitting there with his cigar, puffing away. And Steve-O, if we beat them, I want you to give it to him big time, right?
Guaranteed.
When I worked for that Irish organisation, mate, 95% of the employees were Man United. Every time that they would beat us, I would not get a minute's peace till the next time we played them. It was an absolute nightmare. So I know exactly what you're saying. It's bloody horrible, and we have to beat them. If we beat them, I think it's almost signed, sealed, and delivered. I really do.
I'd agree.
Do you know what I'm only after fucking realising there? I said I'd fucking do a live stream with United channel, so I have to do it this fucking week. I'm not bleeding looking forward to it. But anyway, look, I said I'd do it, so I'll have to fucking do it. Yeah, Morris, we're going for a few pints on the 27th of January City game. Fancy we're going to cause a bit of bother. Yeah, we are. Yeah, I'm going to I think it's the Arsenal fan. The Dublin Arsenal fan club or something like that. I think we're going to go have a few pints there. Just want to read out one or two of these. If Patrick Vieira does Arsenal a favour on Wednesday night by getting a result against United, they have Palace as well. You know, is that in Palace? Is it? Does anyone? I think it is. Is it?
Is it? Is that away?
It might be.
They've been good at home. They've been really good at home.
Yeah, because they played away today and lost, and of course their last home game they lost to Tottenham 0-4. So, I mean, I don't really have much faith in Palace, to be honest. I think Patrick Vieira, sadly, is also starting to get found out a bit, and it could. He's not going to get relegated because there are other worse teams than him, but you know they are in a bit of a slump and they need to recover ASAP.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, look what winning can do. It's been a while since the fans are this happy and together. I really hope the team can bring it home this season. Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, it's the only concern that I have is that we are very light. As I said, we keep battling on about this, like, you know, and we need fucking Edu to get off his fucking jet ski, out of his fucking underpants and into a fucking suit and get this deal done, because he's after making a holy fucking show of himself. Oh, Edu's in Poland. Right, why are you doing there? Because Modric is in fucking London, you tick. You know, You know what
The
the fuck?
AFTV thing, eh? The AFTV thing. He's
I
on a
thought-
plane. He's on a plane to go meet Mudryk. Mudryk's on a plane to come to London.
back, yeah,
They just
yeah.
pass each other. It's like, see you, mate. Bye, mate. What
Yeah.
the
As
hell?
he was
you
touching
going?
down, he was taking off.
Yeah, fuck's sake. Jesus Christ. Well, like, what,
That
like,
United Palace game is at Palace and it's on Wednesday night.
right, okay, so it is in Palace. So there might be, like, you know, hopefully it's live on telly, puts a bit of pressure on them, you know. And we have, like, I don't think we don't have a game this week. The next game is just Man United and next Sunday.
Yeah.
So we have plenty of time to rest, you know, get things right, you know, because Ten Hag, I was watching the Man City Man United game yesterday. He's very down to detail on his tactics and how to do. He's very good at that, like, you know. So he would have been watching the game today and seen what Spurs done to the likes of Martinelli and sort of played him out of the game. You know, he would have also looked at the Newcastle game of how to fucking kill Arsenal's, like, you know, attacks and stuff like that. I'm not confident with Eddie.
Last
Go
time,
ahead, Warren.
boy, he did a number on Arteta at Old Trafford. He
did.
He did a perfect job on him, and he turned us over. So it'd be interesting to see what happens this time at the Emirates, because he's doing well. You have to hand it to him.
Yeah, you're right. I think you're spot on. I think you're spot on with that, Warren. He did do a great. He did a wonderful job against us the last time out.
Yeah.
The thing is, the way Newcastle played us, they came in and just parked the bus. Man United aren't going to come in to park the bus. They're not. They're going to try to win this game. So they can't really use too much of Newcastle's tactics, because that means they're going to be sitting back so far that they won't be effective going forward. This game is going to be a tough game. And you know what? There's one thing I enjoy about this is because it takes me back to the days like the old firms, you know, the old Man United Arsenal rivalry. That's always been the biggest rivalry. This Tottenham thing is whatever, but that's the biggest rivalry. The two biggest clubs in the Premier League will go on toe to toe. And now it feels as if it's a rewind. Do you know what I mean? Two teams that are sort of, you know, it's going back to the old days, and it's an exciting time. I hope that our boys can go over there and get a bloody result. I don't need a draw in this game. I think we need 3 points. But Eric Ten Hag, if you watch Man United and the way they keep their shape, that's difficult. They keep their shape like 90% of the time. They're barely out of position. They're a well-oiled machine now. The bastard's a born tactician. I hate to say it.
Yeah, like just on your comment there about the, like, you know, we need a win. We definitely do need a win against United. I think it's the City game. I take a draw now. You know, we're still keeping them at arm's length. You know, you're not going to go to the Etihad and turn them over. Now I know people say, oh, but Brighton or Brentford or whatever fucking went there and bet them. I don't know who it was, but when it's the two teams at the top, it's a sort of a different atmosphere. Like, you know, the stakes are more, let's say.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that, Manny? Like, beat Man United, try to get the draw in the Etihad.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, to be honest, the way United have been playing this season ever since Ten Hag got in, you know, a lot has been made about their early season woes and the losses at Brentford, at home to Brighton, and of course that dreadful derby performance against Manchester City and so forth. But their recovery has been absolutely magnificent, and on momentum and form alone, they certainly look to be our toughest challenges right now. And I think tactically we can all agree that Ten Hag has been an absolute sensation, really. He's gotten the best out of Marcus Rashford, brought him back to the form that he was before he got involved in the politics and everything. And I always believed that there was a good player in that boy, and I think Ten Hag has worked wonders with him. He's tightened up the defense. It means that Harry Maguire of the beans on toast and boiled egg and soldiers fame is not getting too much game time, but so be it. And everything that he's done, he's shown the ruthlessness that's required to, improve the team. But he's also been respectful enough to his players to make it clear that they are important, and he wants them to do a job for him. And if he believes that that's the best job for them, then they should do it. And credit to Maguire and Lisandro Martinez for coming on in the dying embers of that Manchester derby, unlike a certain Portuguese star who thought he was all that, who thought he would get a Champions League club, who thought he would have an amazing World Cup, and now he's gone into semi-retirement in Saudi Arabia. Go figure.
Yeah.
With an
Attitude. You were
I'm
saying,
going to add
Steve-O?
to this guy.
No, wait a minute. I'll finish that. We'll come back to him. I'm going to say right now that attitude determines your altitude. But enough of Ronaldo. What Ten Hag has done with that Manchester United team has been nothing short of miraculous, taking a team that had looked down and out, short on confidence, and turned them into legitimate title challengers. So I think a draw against them and even a draw against City would be good. And coming into City now, I keep saying this. Teams like Manchester United and Manchester City have a very nasty knack of raising their game against us. Why?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we sort of have a reputation among those guys as being a team that they simply have to beat, and that reputation has probably only increased this season. So they're going to be determined to try to come at us. And let's not forget that with Guardiola, his pride has now been badly wounded. And I can say today that after today, we could almost safely write off City as title challengers unless we absolutely implode and they somehow manage to pull the chestnuts out of the fire, which I don't see happening. I think their defense is absolutely appalling. But these are the games, I think you've said it perfectly, Del. The stakes are higher, and teams like City and United will raise their game against us. So I think it's important to make sure that we have a bit of balance to our play, because Ten Hag will certainly work on a plan to counter us. And I think Guardiola might possibly have some tricks up his sleeve. If it means bringing on Jackie Grealish to do a super sub number and score another goal, whatever it may be, he will have to shore up that defense. But those teams are going to be determined to win against us. So I would definitely like to see us upset the form book and then go on and win. That would be magnificent, because if we win those two, we'll put even more daylight between us and the rest of them. But draws would also be good. Losses, and I think Kai will agree with me, losses won't be good enough. It's as simple as that. I mean, he might also say that he might even say that that only wins will do, and I completely respect that opinion. And I would like a win, but
I think
we are.
I think it's important. Sorry to interrupt you, Manny. I think it's important for us to remember that Man City are more than capable of going on an 18-19 game winning run, winning game after game after game.
Yep.
It wouldn't be the first time they've done it.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Remember that, 'cause they're more than capable of doing it.
Yep.
And
they got the squad.
What I said there, that boy, is Ten Hag, for me, is the best Man United manager since Alex Ferguson. He started going in there to a bad squad, players that was lacking confidence. We take Rashford, for example, and he started turning him into a world-class player again. Manchester United are, without a shadow of doubt, in a tight race with us. And I will not write Manchester City off yet either, because like what Warren said, they can go the rest of the season on winning every game. So this is massive, lads. The Ten Hag, this Man United team, the fucking scum are back that way. They're fucking back, and they're in the tight race. And as some does this business of we take a win here and a draw there, I don't give a fuck who we're playing. We are Arsenal Football Club. We go out to get 3 points. Ain't the fucking story. Steve-O is a boxer. Steve-O is a boxer there. You go in there, Steve-O, with the mentality into a ring there to fight your opponent. You don't go in there and say, sure, I get a draw here and I lost.
Exactly.
You go in to fucking win. This is the winning. This is top sports, mate. This is the elite. This is the fucking standard for Arsenal Football Club. You beat your opponent, and I don't give a fuck if it's at the Etihad, Old Trafford, White Hart Lane, or the Emirates Stadium. It's a fucking football field. You go out and you do it. If you want to be champions, you have to beat the best to beat the champion. In my eyes.
Agreed.
Go out next fucking Sunday, beat those fucking scumbags, and let's march the fuck on.
Yeah, 100%, mate. I just want to
Del, just 1 minute. But Steve-O, you wanted to say something about Ronaldo a minute. Do you have your train of thought back?
Yeah, you know what it was? It was he's gone to Saudi Arabia. He's hit the dirt really. But he's made sure to write in a little clause that if Newcastle United make it into the Champions League, he gets to go over there. Did you hear about that?
I seriously don't see Eddie Howe letting that happen.
But
no. Oh, wait a minute. Eddie Howe, you think you think this is the way it's going to be? He's going to say, no, I don't want Ronaldo. And the owner's going to say, well, you're out. Don't forget, these guys. Ronaldo wanted the number 7, right? One player didn't want to give it to him. He's
He'd be
now driving a
joining-
taxi.
He'd be joining the fucking Eddie and Ketty club, the two Eddies in the house.
Let's see where fucking Eddie will be next Sunday now against Varane and Martinez. Let's see how
Well, here,
fucking
Kyle.
good is they.
Kyle, I just wanted to say this to you. This
Anyone
comment
would struggle, but
I was
Kyle.
waiting for it to come in. Big up, Dave Riley. Hope you're doing well, buddy. United are more worried about us, lads. What do you make of that?
About that?
No, I think like what you were saying there is that they just
Nothing to
get
lose.
this fucking swagger about them when they play us. You know, I don't know how they're getting it off late, but they are, and they're, unfortunately for us, they're getting results. You know, Warren, do you think that they are worried about
More
us?
worried about us than what we are them.
Yeah,
I doubt it. I reckon it's probably fairly equal. Because we've had a long history of rivalry with them going back 40, 50 years, probably even longer. Ever since I've been supporting Arsenal, there's always, and I've been supporting the club over 50 years, there's always, when Arsenal and United played, there was always massive crowds at Highbury. It was always the biggest attendance of the season. That, Liverpool and Tottenham, 3 biggest games of the season at Highbury, biggest crowds. And it's been like that as long as I can remember. And I've been going to Arsenal since 1972. So I'd say that it's probably fairly equal. They're as worried about us as what we are of them.
Would you agree that the pressure is more on us than them, though? I think it is.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Possibly, yeah. Possibly, yeah.
We're the ones that's on top of the table. They're the ones
Yeah.
chasing us. So the pressure is on us to keep that distance.
Yeah, I agree. And I just want to give out a question here. Ali, big up, Ali, mate. How are you? Question to the lads, Dale. How many players do we need in the January, and what positions? It's been a shambles in the transfer market so far. Ozzy, what do you reckon, mate?
Okay, we need 2 players. We have to have a centre midfielder. And if anyone's watched my show, 2 years I've been watching Yuri Tielemans. So before anyone was really even talking about him. So Yuri Tielemans is available now. If we're stupid, we don't get him. So probably we're going to be stupid. We need a striker and we need a winger. I've been speaking about Wilfred Zaha since the start of the season. Zaha can play the 9. He can play across the whole front 3. His contract is almost up. So is Tielemans' contract. The money that we were going to spend on Mudryk was about 70 million euro, including add-ons. Maybe we could probably, if we did our business right, we might be able to squeeze in to get both of these guys right at the end of January. Now, if we can get ourselves Wilfred Zaha, who can play right wing and the striker role, we get Yuri Tielemans, who can play in the middle of the ball and play in the center of the park. Now your midfield isn't weak, and your winger like Saka or Martinelli and your striker have backup in Zaha. The Mudryk deal didn't make sense to me because, let's be honest, those are the gaps we really have. You know what I mean? The midfield and a spot for the front 3. So I'd really like to see Zaha because his contract is up and he's doing really well. And he wants Arsenal. He loves Arsenal.
Yeah.
And I want to see Yuri Tielemans there because if you guys have watched Yuri Tielemans, and I watched him for a full year, Maddison's only doing really well because of him.
Yeah, and just exactly what Darren is saying here. Zaha, Tielemans, they're not hard deals at all.
Exactly.
Like, they really aren't. Like, you know,
Cheap.
and it goes to the whole thing about Edu as well. Like, I've always thought he was shit at his job, you know what I mean? And because, but Dale, we got Jesus and Zinchenko and all. Arteta knew them, you know what I mean? He knew their family, he knew their agents.
Exactly.
Easy deals to do, you know what I mean? Me fucking 10-year-old could have bleeding done that, you know? You know, so I just think pressure needs to be put on him big time because if I'm Arteta, I'm saying to him, look at the position we are in now. And like that, Zaha, Tielemans, can we not just get them? You know what I mean? And let's just get these fucking in and let's go and do this. You know, but I don't know. Gemma, do you have the confidence of Edu to get any deals at all over the line? Do you think that he can do it?
Sorry, say that again.
I was just saying, do you have any confidence in Edu to get any players in the January transfer window?
No.
Yep, I'm the same. I don't think so.
Go on.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any pull. He's a dickhead.
Yeah.
That
This
was.
is
I said it already, and I'm going to repeat myself by saying it again. If we do, Vinny, don't get these targets in that we need to strengthen our squad to win the Premier League this season, and we fail to win the Premier League because of it,
You gotta go.
sackable offences. Sackable offences. Gone. Ain't the focus for that one.
Yeah, because he's failed. Edu would have failed. If we can't get any players in January, he's failed. You're fired.
Yeah.
Simple as that. He's got to go.
Yeah. But I can't see it happening, but I cannot see it happening. I just,
The same.
you know.
I'm the same. I'm not holding my breath. I'm just saying, I don't think anyone in here believes that we all know what we are like in January, right? We hope for the best, but we know what's going to happen. You know, last year we all knew we weren't going to get a striker. We all know it's not going to happen. This year we're in a position, and we could solidify our position by spending a little bit more money and getting in these targets, right? And I'm still not confident. I'm not confident that he's going to go out there and fill in the gaps. And it's not about putting Band-Aids over the cracks and that. There aren't cracks there now. But we need to think about 10 more games and what's going to happen. And I think Edu's problem is he drags his feet. You know, he dragged his feet on Mudryk. And I didn't want Mudryk. Stuff Mudryk. But why does it take you so long? Like, if this guy was baking a cake, if he was baking a bloody birthday cake, by the time you had it finished, you'd be friggin' too old to friggin' eat it.
And look, I just see Warren's after getting kicked out of Kenny's house there. So Kenny's home. Get out, Warren.
Kenny, he needs his piano.
Well, knowing
no.
Warren as well as I do, I think he's decided to do the honourable thing and come out himself.
He's in the shed.
Warren, I wanted to ask you this. Here we go. Darren, why is Willian doing bits at Fulham but not at Arsenal? Don't want Rafinha. He is not better than what we have. Exactly. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
But, like, what's the story with Willian? He's fucking pulling trees up over there. He is.
Could be many reasons. Could be because Fulham have found a system that suits him. Could be because the coach has inspired him. Could be because he wasn't promised stuff that couldn't be delivered. I mean, it's difficult to say, but it's a difficult one because maybe when he came here, he just thought it was going to be an easy ride and didn't work out. And maybe he got a nasty shock and he thought, look, next time I better pull my socks up and really, really go for it. Or it might be just the fact that the coach, when he came here, Arteta was really struggling. And maybe the coaching there is better than what it was at Arsenal, because I'm not convinced about the coaching at Arsenal. We got a fellow on our coaching staff who got the sack at United because he was crap. A certain Mr. Round. So why he's good enough for us, I really don't know. But when he came here, Arteta was having a hard time and it wasn't working out for him. And he was lucky to survive, to be quite honest. But like I said, there could be many, many different reasons as to why it's working out for him at Fulham and it wasn't at Arsenal. Maybe the pressure playing at Fulham isn't as great as what it was at Arsenal. Who knows? But I don't know. It's very difficult to that question.
Yeah.
But, because there could be any number of different reasons. It could be that he has a better relationship with the coach at Fulham than he did with Arteta. Maybe the two of them didn't see eye to eye. There was a bit of a prickly relationship. Maybe they had a bit of a falling out. Because let's face it, he's not. Arteta's not. His strength isn't managing people. It's not. he's got a terrible record at man management. So maybe this fella at Fulham is much better at managing people than what Arteta was. It could be anything, mate. It could be.
Yes. Sorry, I'm just getting a few text messages there. People trying to slag me. But
there's a difference. There's a difference between Fulham than there is for Arsenal. And obviously something happened because he came out of contract. I think what was it, 20 million in wages or something? There was some big number in there that he walked away from. So obviously something was going on in the background. Well, for me, personally speaking, Williams should have never went to Arsenal in the first place. It was a terrible bit of business. Chelsea fucking reject. Don't want them kind of players in the club.
And like that for a deal, it was an easy fucking deal to do. Another easy deal. Brazilian, he obviously knows them, agents and all that sort of stuff, like, you know. But it, like what I think who was his third game killer also just says there. Unfortunately, he doesn't think that we're going to sign anyone in January. And if this fucking happens, I lose my head because we're so close, like, you know what I mean, to be challenging and up there. But there's still a long way to go. You know, we could be getting pegged back. We could get injuries. Getting injuries to, like, you know, Partey, Xhaka, we're fucked. You know what I mean? In them positions, such an important position, we're fucked. You know,
and there's you made a good point there about injuries, and I'm going to say something. There earlier on, someone asked about positions and how many players, blah blah blah. We never speak about this. What I'm going to speak about now. If something happens to fucking Ramsdale, we're fucked.
Oh.
Well, you don't rate Tina Turner?
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah. Tina Turner, yeah.
Yeah, fucking hell. Pat Turnip. That's what I call him.
You know what I mean, that one? If something happens to Ramsdale, we're fucked.
Yeah.
Ramsdale today, you saw how good he is there today. Like, you know, he pulled off some exceptional saves, and his contribution today was very good. And you see him, and he's driving the fucking team on, shouting and screaming. That's what you want. Then if something happens to him, who we relying on? Fucking Turner. This is what I'm talking about, that one. The same with the centre back position. If something happens to one of those two lads, who we relying on? Fucking Holding.
Oh no, Takahiro.
Kyle, you have a point.
Takahiro.
Go ahead, Gemma.
Plays right centre back.
Go ahead, Gemma.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, you have a point, because I was saying to Khan, like, recently, what if, like, Ramsdale got injured and then, obviously, Matt Turner, he covered, but then he got a red card. The game would be over.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody speaks about this. Ramsdale is highly important. We have no number 2 goalkeeper. That's what we're talking about, that boy. This is what I'm talking about, man. That's what the squad is way for team. No point talking about fucking strikers.
Yeah, Khan's got a good point. He just said he may be getting hurt from getting kicked in the back.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Where it's Jesus Christ. It's stuff like, you know, you think a keeper shouldn't be injured, but they can. You know what I mean? They get a hamstring. You know, they're not moving across the goal as quickly as they should be. You know, it's a very fucking delicate position we have there. Like, you know, because I think if that happens, it could be game over. If he was missing for about 4 games, even like, let's say the Man United game coming up, you know, they're back in it if they win. They're right up our fucking ass if they fucking win. You know what I mean? Yeah. But we're not going to sign a goalie in January.
No.
You know, this should have been done last summer. Like signing this guy. No offense to him, nothing like that. But no, mate.
As a number 3, maybe as a number 3.
Yeah, exactly. But this is the whole thing. Like, you know, fucking. Look at Liverpool, for example. That their keeper is unreal, and then their backup keeper, that Irish guy, he's very good as well. He's an Irish international, you know. But it's a tricky position because what keeper wants to go to Arsenal to sit in the bench? You know what I mean?
Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
And now this is where this is why me and Warren are mates, because I was just waiting for a moment. My boy Matt Ryan, he was here. He was doing bits, and we said, nah, you're free. We don't want you. We could have you for free. No money. Matty Ryan. God, we can't have Matt.
Great shout, Warren. Warren's Warren's wobbly wall of justice comes through.
Matty Ryan.
You know, fuck's sake. But
Yeah, the thing which angered me about Matt Ryan was that he was never given a chance. 3 games, won 1, kept a clean sheet. Lost 1, that was an own goal, made saves after that. Drew 1, had a pre-assist that Eddie Nketiah equalised against Leeds. That season, Leno kept making so many horrible errors, including letting balls go in through his legs, and Arteta still kept picking him. So, Warren can agree with me on this. There are occasions when Arteta proves himself to be completely clueless when it comes to judging talent. And every time Leno would make a mistake, I would say to myself, we let Emi Martinez go on to do bits at Aston Villa, bits with Argentina, and we're stuck with Leno. And I'm going to jump to the defense of Matt Turner. I thought from what I saw of him in the games he's played for Arsenal and in the World Cup with the USA, especially against our England team, where he, was quite outstanding. He certainly didn't put a foot wrong at all. He might not necessarily be that type of person who will challenge Ramsdale for, the number 1 jersey, but he hasn't put a foot wrong so far. I think he's more than capable of being a number 2. So I wouldn't be too disheartened necessarily if Ramsdale were to be injured. But then, of course, if Ramsdale does get injured and we are stuck with Matt Turner, who do we have in reserve? Carl Hayne? What's happened to Arthur Okonkwo and a few others?
Yeah.
This is another example of how our squad ends up being so thin. And so to answer your question as to who would want to come to Arsenal and be a second goalkeeper, well, Turner's come to Arsenal. He's enjoyed being on the bench, and he ended up starring in the World Cup with the US. More or less, we've solved our problem in a way.
Well, yeah, but the only thing is, like, from watching him, I think his feet are bad. As in, like, he fucking shits himself when he gets the ball to his feet. He's like fucking Bambi on fucking crutches. Never mind fucking Bambi on ice. You know what I mean? It just, the nerves were gone for me when I see the ball coming up close to him and he's there with his feet and he's fucking fluttering around and you're just, Jesus Christ, But just to answer that question there, Manny, what do you want to, any suggestions for you? I know you were saying.
I think Steve-O's covered this, actually. If we can get someone like a Trossard from Brighton or a Tielemans from Liverpool, that could certainly help strengthen the squad in areas which might need to be strengthened in a way. Certainly Tielemans for central defensive midfield.
Or centre mid, yeah.
But we do definitely need another centre-back because we can't go into this remainder of the season competing for the Premiership and the Europa League and potentially the FA Cup if we turn over Manchester City with only 3 recognised centre-backs. I know that Ben White is also technically a centre-back, but now he's become an established right-back. Because what happens if Gabriel or Saliba get an injury? Holding in the middle of the defence?
Well, Takahiro Tomiyasu is actually a right centre-back. He plays right-back to cover. Naturally, he's a right centre-back. So he can play right centre-back. I wouldn't put him on the left centre-back. Fuck that. But I play him as right centre-back.
I want to put Tomiyasu.
None of that. There'll be none of that.
I won't put Tomiyasu on my local soccer team here on a Sunday morning.
Hey, relax yourself. He's a decent defender, mate. That guy doesn't miss a header.
He's fucking useless.
Nah, mate. He pulled that. Did you see what he did to Harry Kane in that game? He gets on, took the ball from Kane, created a chance. Come on, mate. And he doesn't miss a header. Relax yourself, mate. I'll watch him. He's a decent defender.
No, I disagree. I wouldn't have. If we're going to win the title, we can't rely on him.
Oh, here we go. You don't like our Japanese superstar.
I'm upset with you, man. I thought your standards were up where I am, but the standards are a bit below.
Yeah, but you're saying well, Takehiro's not good enough, but Tini should do something so he doesn't stuff up his career. Which one is it going to be? We get good players that don't want to stick around to sit on the bench.
I wasn't starting about Tierney. I wasn't starting about Tierney. But what I will say about Tierney is he has to end the season. Don't book up out in the summertime.
Why? Why is he out in the summertime?
I don't think he's going to stick around, Steve. I don't think he's going to stick around if he's not getting first team action. I think he's good enough for first team action myself personally. But I just think him as an individual, I think he might say if he's not getting the game time, that maybe he might go and get better competition somewhere else. That's why.
This is a hard dynamic. This is where it becomes difficult. See, this is where it's like players like Tierney are players that we should have on the bench, right? And we should want to keep on the bench and not have them leave. So Takahiro Tomiyasu playing as right centre back is like he's not good enough. But the player who is good enough doesn't want to sit on the bench. So what do you do now?
Yeah.
You see this? So maybe it's about Arsenal becoming bloody successful for once. And then maybe having a bit of, being something, winning the league. And then we've got a selling point, sit on Arsenal's bench because, we're a team that can win the league. Maybe it's about that.
But don't forget, if we do win the league, those players who don't make enough appearances have to beg and plead and literally, come cap in hand to get a medal. Is that worth it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think, how many games is it? It's like 5 games or something. They have
10.
to...
Oh, it's
10, is it?
10 games, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to fucking Tina Turner coming on for 10 games.
No.
Yeah. I wouldn't even like to see him running off the bench, run onto the goal. For fuck's sake.
Time wasting. It's a substitution. 1 minute left. Tina Turner coming in. It's off the ends. Oh, no.
Yeah, you can kick him in the back. Don't be kicking Ramsdale. Lenny's just saying Tierney could go to Newcastle.
Very good point. Very good.
No, I don't want him to go there. But yeah, he'll strengthen them.
Strengthen 100%. Yeah, 100%. Look, guys, I'm going to sort of wrap it up there now. I'll just go, let's say, hit the socials and stuff like that. Warren, I'll give you a shout. Where can people find you and stuff?
Okay, so they can find me on YouTube. My channel's called Warren's Team Talk, as it is in my name there. They can also find me on Instagram and on Twitter, but I don't really use Twitter that much, to be honest. I do now and again, but I find it a bit toxic, to be frank. And I've got another show coming out, hopefully beginning of next week. It's a review for 2022, and it's not just about football. It's about athletics, about boxing, cricket, a bit of Aussie rules as well. So, yeah, Steve's not happy about that.
Cricket, AFL, fuck me.
Yeah, so I'm dishing out some awards as well. So that'd be interesting. It's just for a bit of a laugh, really. Just do something a bit different. And then, obviously, next Saturday, it'll be my Match Day Live show. So come and make sure you check all those out. I dropped one earlier today, and I was kicking off about Edu, about the club's activity in the transfer market. So please go and check that out as well. So thanks very much for having me on, Del Boy. I really appreciate it. And big up to everyone in the panel. Make sure everyone you go and subscribe to them all, please. All right, they're absolutely top fellas, and they deserve all the support that we can give them. So thanks a lot, guys.
Fair play, mate. And Manny, where do you find you, mate?
Yeah, as usual, you can find me active on social media. My Instagram handle is my full name and my year of birth. That's Manny Thangadurai 1981. You can also catch me on Twitter, which I do happen to enjoy a little bit, if only because I get to fling back some of that toxicity at people who try to aim it at me. It's my surname and my year of birth, Thangadurai 1981. You can catch me on many channels on YouTube, S. Featley TV, Oris Talks Football, Hannah's Coach's Corner, Tony Claude Gunner TV, Danny AFC TV on occasional Thursdays when we come on and chew the fat. Other channels, Chelsea Dan TV, I often go and have some chats with him as more of a neutral Arsenal fan. Shout out to Eugene Spurs Asia TV based in Malaysia. Love going on streams with him. We have a respectful time despite the fact that we're on both sides of the North London divide. Quite a few others who I've had the pleasure of doing streams with. If I've missed anyone, I'm sorry. I'll send you a check in the post. And of course, I cannot forget my first, my last, my everything, Del Boy Gunner TV, my introduction to YouTube, as it were. And it's been really terrific to be able to, work with you a lot more closely. You are a person who I absolutely, for whom I have nothing but the utmost respect. Huge shout out to everyone on the panel. To Gemma as well, good to meet you, and wonderful to get to know your husband as well, Khan. Mr. Walsh shoots from the hip, tells it like it is. Proper Wexford broke. Aussie Gooner, Steve-O himself, fair dinkum, calling a spade and nothing less. Terrific to get up and close with him. And of course, the very respected Mr. Bartholomew himself, Warren. Love being in your company. Love speaking to you every chance I can get. And I've made a few changes to the way I interact with you. I hope you've noticed them. But you know that I have nothing but the utmost respect for you and everything that you do as well.
Yeah, fair play, Manny. I really appreciate
Wonderful. Yeah, and just finally, let me just say once again to all of you who are watching, have a terrific week, upcoming week. Stay safe, stay happy. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And for now, I am out.
Fair play, Manny. Big up to you. Ozzy, where can they find you, or where can't they find you?
I'm everywhere. So what I do is I like to get in a mix. Yeah, I'm that guy that likes to get in people's faces, so it's fun. Look, you'll find me on YouTube on the Aussie Gooner channel. I will be doing a review to this game, so you'll see Akpos on there, Football Pigeon. You'll see today. You'll see Prince Fawad in there. So, and you'll also see Kenny Ken there. So we're going to sit down and break this game down. It's going to be all smiles all around. So it's going to be a good show. You can also see me on Instagram, the Aussie Gooner, just the Aussie Gooner on Instagram. I'm always getting up to something a bit, evil there as well, having a bit of fun. And I'm like Warren with Twitter. I don't know. I'm just not much of a twit. So I don't know. I can't do it. So I'm not into Twitter too much. So I can't get in there. Sorry, guys. Look, big up the panel. Seriously. You guys can see me on Delboy Gunner from time to time. You'll see me on the Football Capital all the time. The local show in the shed, shits and giggles and all that. You'll see me on One Touch from time to time. And to be honest, out and about here and there. To be honest, look, thank you very much, guys, and the panel. Honestly, it's an absolute pleasure having a chit-chat with you guys. Seriously, respect every single one of you. You guys always make solid points. And Gemma, it's been an absolute pleasure meeting you. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Big up, Ozzy. Fair play, mate. Thanks for coming in again. Where can they find you? Just socials or Twitter, or what are you on?
My Instagram name tag is in that green box thingy.
Yeah. We'll highlight that, yeah. So just check it out. Thanks a million for coming on, Jim, and big up to your fella there beside you. He's a bleeding legend, he is. Kyle.
Yeah, I'll just send you a follow request right now.
Yeah, I was going to say about Tottenham and Man City. When was it? Thursday. Obviously, I don't like Tottenham, and probably most of the people in the chat don't. But I hope they do us a favour and beat City.
Yeah,
they are their bogey team. That's
right. Yeah, they actually are. Yeah,
I hope they beat City.
yeah, you're right. 100%.
Or a draw. We'll go for a draw.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, actually a draw. Yeah, but no, if they beat City, then we're still 8 points ahead of them. So
yeah, I suppose. Yeah, but I suppose it just takes pressure off us for the United game. We could probably possibly draw. Kyle, I'll come on to you. They're all looking for this fucking Tony Adams show. When's it happening, mate?
Right, then, boy. What I'd first like to say is big up to you for having me on your show once again. Always a pleasure. It's always a great pleasure to have a conversation and a chit-chat with the legends that's in the boxes here. Steve Wood, the Aussie Gunner, an absolute legend, great man. Always in contact, always stay in touch, brother. We do lots of more together as well. Calling a spade a spade. Manny, you know the way I feel about you, man. Always a great pleasure to listen to you speak. I think your intelligence and the way you speak is just amazing. Warren, big up to you, pal. You know exactly what I think of you, Warren. There's no bullshit there, man. Always a great pleasure to join the show with you. Jamie, great to hear from you. Get in contact. Keep going. Keep on shouting for the Gunners. There, boy. You just like to take the chance. I was away there for a while, but I'm after putting 2 videos up in the last 2 days. I'm back with a fucking bang. And this week, I will be definitely 100% doing that Tony Adams show. I have the 1989 Tony Adams jersey signed by Tony Adams personally to me. I'm going to do a whole thing about Tony Adams. You're going to get me on the COYG Gunner on YouTube. And I think I don't know what I am on Instagram. It's a Walsh Kyle or something like that on Instagram. But you get me
It
there
is
anyway.
Walsh Kyle.
Well, lads, listen, big up to us all, big up to the chat. We beat the fucking scum today. Next Sunday, we're going to beat the other fucking scum. And we're going to march on, and we're going to stay positive, and we're going to win the league title. And if they don't, hates will fucking roar. Big up to us all. Go on the Gunners!
That's it. Well done, mate. We have to just be quiet now because Rich is in the house. He's a big United supporter, so we'll take it easy. Don't give him our tips and tricks and everything like that. We'll say nothing, Rich. Big up, mate. I'm only messing. Big up.
Hopefully we
channel,
beat City too then.
Yeah, big up. And yeah, so please do just check the guys' channels out and subscribe. It does help, and hit an like button as well. Really do appreciate it. As Rich was saying, pressure is on Shitty now. Rotate for the United game. Yeah, we will in our fucking arse. You know. I just want to say a big up to everyone as well in the chat. Really do appreciate it. You know, all your comments and your likes and subscribes. It really does help us along the way. I'm buzzing. I'm going to enjoy this week. You know, we've no games, no pressure. Everything now is down to Edu. It's down to Edu this week. Arsenal fan base, the eyes are on you now, mate. It's over to you. You know what I mean? We need fucking players in this week. Get them fucking in and even have them on the bench for the United game or whatever it is, you know. As it says, thanks again. Arsenal 2, Spurs 0. I'll leave it at that. What else can we say? Come on, you fucking Gunners.